the number of if statements you write in your C# development life? Well, there will be a lot of them, I can tell you that. But in some cases, it might make sense to use the switch statement instead. Assume using the if-else combination, you end up with something like you see here on the slide. Here we have a lot of conditions to check and possible different bits of code that need to execute. Now, while this will work, it might not be easy to read. Also, if some code needs to execute, if different expressions would evaluate to true, it also would be a bit harder. Introducing the switch statement. Things start with a switch keyword, which receives again an expression. This expression needs to get surrounded with brackets and it is evaluated. Once evaluated, the execution will jump to one of the case statements. For the different cases, we can have a constant expression. So in that case, there must be an exact match between the value of the switch expression and the case constant. Alternatively, we can also use a relational expression, such as greater than. This expression is called the case label. Notice the syntax for different cases. After the case, we will have a colon, and then we'll have one or more statements to execute. Each case will then end with a break, yet another C# keyword, and that is used to indicate until where the execution should run for the used case. If no match is found in the different cases, the statements below the default are executed. Just looking at this syntax structure might be a bit confusing. Let's make it more tangible with a real example. Here we are again going to evaluate the age value, and based on its value, a different block needs to be executed. Age is the expression that we are going to try and find a match for. It's going to be just a variable of type int here. Now a match is going to be searched. The first case will be selected if the age is below 18. So here the case is using a relational expression, less than 18. If that's the case, the statements here are executed until the break, and then we continue below the switch. If age is greater than 65, then the second case is executed. If age is exactly 42, the third case is used, and that one is different. It's using a constant expression. If no other case is a match, then the default will be used, which in our case would be the replacement of the else block we had before. While the switch can replace the if structure we saw before, it won't always be the case though. The switch in fact has quite a few rules that apply. For starters, the switch can't be used with every type. It works for most of the primitive types we've seen, excluding float and double. The case label, so the expression for each case, uses a pattern. These can be a constant like 42 or relational like greater than 18. Each case must be unique as well, and as soon as a hit is found, so a matching pattern, execution will stop. Cases are indeed evaluated from top to bottom, and so the first match is executed. Default is optional as said, and in fact doesn't have to be at the bottom. It will however always be the fallback if there are no other matches.